He never understood why her dog hated him specially whenever he touched her until the night before the wedding, when he learned something that shattered his world. It was Elena's wedding night. She arrived at the Hillcrest Resort with Max, her German Shepherd, trotting at her side. A white limousine glided to a stop. The door opened, and Elena stepped out, radiant, her dog close behind. Max was calm, alert, but his eyes tracked everything. Elena beamed. Tomorrow, she would marry Dorian, the man she had dreamed of. He came out of the resort's front entrance and swept her into his arms. He kissed her cheek gently. Max immediately barked. Woof, then lunged between them, teeth bared. Dorian jumped back, startled. Max! Elena gasped, grabbing his collar. No. Dorian rubbed his wrist. Your dog nearly bit me. He's just protective, Elena said quickly. He doesn't like anyone getting too close, that's all. Or maybe he just hates me, Dorian muttered. He's never like this with anyone else, Elena insisted. He's a good judge of character. Dorian raised an eyebrow. Right. She changed the subject. Let's just enjoy tonight. They headed into the resort. Max padded behind them, silently watching. Inside the elevator, Dorian said, I don't want Max living with us after we're married. Elena blinked. He's family, she said. He's hostile. Dorian shot back. He growls every time I touch you. Maybe he knows something you don't, she joked. But Dorian wasn't laughing. The elevator doors opened into their suite. Elena gasped in the light rose petals, candles, and a glowing sign that read, One last night as Miss Hart. Dorian! She cried, throwing her arms around him. He hugged her stiffly. Max stood by the door, ears up, tail still. Elena didn't notice. She was floating. This was her fairy tale, but it wouldn't last long. She kissed Dorian's cheek. I love you. I know, he said quietly. Then his phone buzzed. It's the guys, he smiled. They're here. Go see them, Elena said. Dorian left. Max stayed after him. Elena checked herself in the mirror, humming. Downstairs, Dorian met Trevor and the groomsmen. They had gifts, balloons, even a live band. A surprise for Elena. She's going to flip, Dorian grinned. They made their way upstairs. Here's the plan, he whispered. I'll knock, hand her the bouquet. You guys follow in after. He raised his hand to knock, then stopped. Laughter, Elena's voice. Dorian wants me to ditch Max after the wedding. She giggled. He thinks Max is aggressive. Another laugh. He doesn't even realize Max is just possessive of me. More laughter. Then, to be honest, Dorian can't even satisfy me. Dorian froze. The flowers in his hand trembled. His blood ran cold. He's boring, safe, but rich. I'll marry him, take half, and leave. Ezra's the one I love. Always has been. Third, the bouquet hit the floor. The music died in the hallway. Dorian didn't say a word. He stood there, a thousand emotions at war. Heartbreak, rage, humiliation. Trevor stepped forward. Dorian, he whispered. The groom's hands were shaking. Silent tears ran down his face. Trevor put a hand on his shoulder. Dorian shrugged it off and turned away. He walked down the hallway without looking back. That night, he didn't sleep. He sat outside the suite on a bench beneath the stars. Numb, empty. He heard her voice over and over again. Ezra is the one I love. I'll marry him. Take half. Shame crept in. The money, the guests, the families, the pressure. How could he walk away now? Knock, knock. Dorian, please talk to me, Trevor said. Silence. The sun rose. Dorian got dressed. He wore the tux, tied the bow, but not for love. You okay? Someone asked. I'm fine, he lied. The chapel doors opened. He walked down the aisle, alone. Cold. Elena entered soon after, glowing in white. Max walked beside her, tail wagging. She whispered, We made it. Dorian didn't answer. The officiant began. Dorian raised a hand. Before we start, I have something to share. People clapped politely, expecting a speech. Elena smiled. Smoke. The AV team rolled the tape. Elena's voice played across the speakers. I'll marry him. Take half. Run back to Ezra. Gasps. Elena turned pale. Max barked once, sharp. Dorian stood tall. No tears, no regrets. She tried to speak, but there was nothing left to say. Some were recording, others were just stunned. Then, without a word, Elena collapsed to the ground and fainted. Dorian didn't touch her. He didn't even move. He just adjusted his cufflinks, took a deep breath, and walked out of the wedding hall with his head held high. The moment he left, the room exploded with noise. People stood up, others rushed outside. Some shouted, some gasped. The once beautiful wedding venue at Hillcrest Resort was now in complete chaos. Flowers were stepped on, chairs were knocked over, but no one cared. All eyes were on the groom, who had just exposed the biggest lie of his life. When Dorian got home, the silence of the house felt louder than all the noise from the wedding. He closed the door behind him slowly. Then he fell face down on the bed, his suit still on. He finally let go, and he cried. He cried like a child, deep, painful sobs. Tears soaked the pillow. His chest shook with every breath. His heart felt like it was breaking piece by piece. He couldn't believe it. She had used him, lied to him, planned to destroy him, all while smiling and calling him my love. Outside, friends and family came to the door. They knocked, begged, and called out his name. Dorian, please open up. Let us in, bro. We're here for you, man. But Dorian didn't answer. He didn't move. He just laid there broken and silent. Days passed. Dorian didn't eat. He didn't go to work. He ignored every call, every knock, every message. He stayed indoors, drowning in pain. He kept replaying her voice in his head. The laughter, the betrayal. He stared at the ceiling, asking himself, why me? What did I do to deserve this? Weeks passed. The sun came and went. But inside, it always felt like night. His family tried everything. Friends came with food. Trevor even brought a counselor. But Dorian refused. His body was weak, but his mind was burning with one thought. How do I make her feel what I felt? How do I get revenge in a way she'll never forget? And how will I ever find someone who loves me for me, not for my money, not my name, not what I have, but for who I truly am? He didn't have the answers yet, but one thing was sure, he wasn't going to stay broken forever. Something in him had changed, and when he stood again, he wouldn't be the same Dorian. After the shame and heartbreak, he just wanted to disappear. He was tired of the stairs, tired of people pointing fingers, tired of whispers that followed him everywhere. Some acted like they felt sorry, but most laughed behind his back. He had become the groom who got betrayed at the altar, a walking headline, a joke to many. So Dorian made a decision to leave everything behind. He packed a few clothes, no luxury, no noise, just silence. He didn't tell anyone, not even Trevor. He moved to a small developing town, far from the spotlight, where nobody knew his name. He rented a simple one-bedroom bungalow in a quiet area. The roads were dusty. The people were kind. It wasn't much, but it gave him peace. He stopped wearing designer suits. No gold watch. No Italian shoes. He started living like an ordinary man, an invisible man. Each day, he'd walk to the market or roadside cafe. No cameras, no rumors, no more whispers. Just fresh air and new beginnings. It wasn't easy, but it was better than living in pain. One cloudy afternoon, as Dorian walked down a narrow street, he stepped off a muddy corner to cross toward a store. Just then a car sped past. A splash. A wave of dirty water soaked him from head to toe. Dorian stood, still dripping, muddy, embarrassed. He looked like someone who had been knocked into a gutter. The car screeched to a stop ahead. A young woman quickly jumped out. "I'm so sorry, sir," she cried, rushing toward him. "I didn't see the water. I was rushing. Please forgive me." Dorian looked up slowly. Her voice was soft, her eyes wide with concern. "It's fine," he said calmly, wiping mud from his arm. But she didn't stop. She ran to her car, pulled out a clean towel, and gently tried to clean the dirt from his clothes. "It's okay," Dorian repeated. "You can go. I'll be fine." "Are you sure?" she asked again. He nodded. "Thank you," she whispered, smiling before she rushed off. Dorian stood there, soaked, cold, but shocked. "She was kind," he muttered. "Not many people would do that. I should have asked her name or her number, but it was too late. She was gone." Weeks passed, but Dorian kept thinking about her, that stranger with the warm towel and the kind eyes. He didn't even know her name. Then one Saturday, Dorian stepped out of a small corner mall, holding a grocery bag. Just as he reached the front step, she froze. There she was, the same girl, standing outside the mall, laughing with a friend. She had a simple dress on, her hair tied up in a bun. She looked even more beautiful in the daylight. Dorian stepped closer, heart racing. She turned. Their eyes met. "Oh, it's you," she said, smiling. "I didn't expect to see you again." "I didn't expect it either," Dorian replied, trying not to look too eager. They laughed. "This is my best friend, Emma," she said, pointing beside her. "And I'm Caroline. What's your name again?" "I'm Dorian." "It's nice to finally meet you properly, Dorian." They chatted for a few minutes. The mood was light and easy. This time, Dorian didn't miss his chance.
If you're still watching, that means you're hooked on this story and we love that. Before you go, make sure to like the video if you're invested in the drama. Comment below. Now we want to hear from you. Drop your comments. Share with friends who love powerful storytelling.